The last words of Dr. Edward Mantill, a physicist at CERN. On July 13, 2016, a CERN researcher was found dead in his office from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The renowned scientist had been researching what he called a hidden code of sorts in the movement of neutrinos from the north to the south magnetic poles. His colleagues said he hadn't slept for days after he allegedly gave up on his research. He shut himself in his office, and after a couple days of not appearing in his lab or at his regular appointments, his state was discovered. He had burned all of his research in his trash bin, and his computer had been wiped of all data except one text file. Upon discovery, the document was classified but has since been leaked to the public by someone of yet unknown origin. It is assumed to be the final product of his research. This is a transcript of said document. If you're reading this, then I have failed. The LHC at CERN is capable of far more than they tell the public. Two of the most impressive experiments that has taken place at CERN, we have found a way to look at people, places, and things much like looking in a mirror. We have decoded part of the mysteries of time travel. A person can jump, as they call it, to another person or object in time. We have also found out that we can't stop something that has happened or will happen, only delay the event. Each delay pushes an event forward for 3 years. Don't ask me why 3 years, everything happens in threes. On April 29, 2016, the Large Hadron Collider was about to increase their power so high a high-energy collision inside the LHC would have created the first experimental evidence of Hawking radiation, the only radiation predicted to be emitted from a black hole's event horizon. 2 days later, a supermassive black hole formed. 3 days later, the Earth was gone. I saw this happen in the mirror experiments. I thought of my family, my friends, then I decided I needed to do something to save them. Earlier this year, a friend of the family gave me a grown offspring of Felicia the ferret, who is somewhat of a low-key celebrity in the physics community, was used to help physicists clean 300-foot pipes in particle accelerators at Fermilab, a particle physics laboratory in Illinois. Felicia. So my friends, if this worked, a headline should read, "The most powerful machine on Earth was just halted by a tiny weasel. You should have another 3 years." Now I leave, but I also leave you with this. Life. Why is it so sacred? Has it been elevated to a mythical status with the onset of modern intelligence? Or, has modern intelligence caused you to come to the rational conclusion that life is but a mere commodity, one that gives nothing but advancements towards the greater good of a species that is doomed to die out, as all species are? Is life without intelligence really life? Can intelligence and consciousness be separated into two distinct pools? A hive mind can be intelligent without consciousness. A conscious being can certainly lack intelligence. Which is the one that is attributed to life and is celebrated as the pinnacle of evolutionary genius? Life itself simply means to sustain biomechanical functions. Plants can wither and die. Then again, so can planets, stars, even entire galaxies. Are these cosmic entities alive? Many would say of course not. But, if you regard the definition of healthy as being able to maintain equilibrium in a body, and the definition of life as not inanimate but made up of inanimate and animate objects, then planets would certainly fit these criteria as a healthy living being. The ability to grow and maintain equilibrium is certainly a function of planets. So these people that assign the definition of life to animals and plants must maintain that intelligence or consciousness is necessary, except, plants are neither. So we must look deeper. Metabolism? Is life the ability to metabolize? To many the answer to this question is yes, though they may not know it. Enzyme-catalyzed reactions are the basis for life. Yet nowhere in these reactions does intelligence or consciousness come into play. So to preserve life, and value it to such a degree, you value these reactions. These micro-communications and effects that give objects the ability to live are prized and valued above all else. But, when one says that a person lost their life, they don't mean that they lost their ability to metabolize. They mean they lost their intelligence, their consciousness, not their chemical reactions. Why then do you value consciousness and intelligence? It is simply an evolutionary accident if some are to be believed. A mere consequence of mutations over time that slowly began evolving a brain that fires electrical impulses to categorize and understand the world around it. You were meant to see a tree and know it was a tree. You were meant to see food and know it was food. You were never meant to ask why trees exist or whether or not food was ethical to eat. And yet here you stand. You are humanity, the pinnacle of achievement, intelligence, and consciousness. However, these three ideas still confound you. You have defined life. You have categorized the world you know, and you know more about it each day, from the cosmic scale to the micro. You know what threatens life. The body is weak. Metabolic reactions can only be maintained under strict equilibrium. And in your paranoia to protect the consciousness and intelligence that you assume arose from these reactions, you try oh so very hard to protect the reactions that allow you to keep them rooted to your fragile form. But your paranoia is also destroying you. You have created medicine and sciences that go beyond what you were ever supposed to achieve. And in return the world around you changes. We return once again to equilibrium. When you created medicine that became progressively more effective at killing so-called foreign bodies, the foreign bodies became progressively more effective at resisting your attempts and at killing you. This makes you afraid. Very afraid. Because now, you are back to the unknown. Your only response is to ask more questions, figure out why this is happening. You know you can fight back, you just need to know how. So many questions. You just never asked the right one, that one question that could have saved you. Are we supposed to know? It's far too late now. You know too much. You have evolved into a resistant strain of illness to me, much like your own devastating superbugs. You have found a way to survive and thrive, evolve, through everything I have thrown at you. Your unintended consciousness and intelligence proved to be more of a threat than I could have possibly comprehended. I will give you some answers, however. You value consciousness and intelligence in people. You learn to love, to reproduce based on this. It is important to you because without it your species would wither and die. It is simply an evolution that was meant to continue the colony by bypassing natural selection prematurely. If you can gauge good qualities before reproduction by the introduction of consciousness and intelligence, it eliminates the need for trial and error. But it has gotten out of control. Natural selection is the name you gave to the process by which I have maintained equilibrium for so long. You have upset my equilibrium. But I do have medicine much stronger than natural selection now. It's only a matter of time before it starts working. But, before that, here is one final answer. You never penetrated my core. If only you had. Then you would have known that yes, planets metabolize too. Stay paranoid, my friends.